Harper Audio presents Good Booty, Love and Sex, Black and White, Body and Soul in American Music by Ann Powers. Read by Teri Schnaubelt. Preface. I think I was around 9 years old when I realized music is sexy. From the first time I heard the songs that moved me to distraction in childhood, by the Beatles and the Jackson 5, I loved them because they affected my whole body, making me think hard and respond deeply and jump like a jelly bean. Music gave me a way to engage with those funny feelings my friend Lisa said rose up in her when she looked at a picture of Keith Richards slouching around in the Rolling Stones. Feelings my mother wouldn't mention and the boys in the schoolyard snickered about but wouldn't own. The girls in my life were the ones who wanted to name those feelings, and we did it by dancing to the beat of the Bee Gees and Queen and Blondie. And once we all hit college, Prince. We became sexual by playing records, sweating in the crowd at rock shows, making out with boys in bands or other fans or each other, while music played loud in cars and basements and through the walls of the bathrooms at the Odd Fellows Hall. When I started writing about music for a living, I felt driven not to merely acknowledge its erotic pull, but to really understand it. This took time, a lot of listening, more sweating in clubs, more dancing. I eventually realized that in order to grasp how the sounds I loved related to the sex I was having, that everyone was having, I'd need to learn more about how music factored into the history of the places where it originated. Rock and jazz and soul and hip-hop are American inventions, born of and nurtured by people mixing and mingling, claiming themselves and reaching for others. I knew that. I could see the connections forming all around me in the music world. Digging into record crates and spending time with my nose buried in books helped me understand the context for these developments. My own movement back and forth from the archive to the audience has continually shaped my understanding. I've learned more than I can easily express from the examples of women, queer folk, and people of color who've refused to remain on the margins, both as musicians and as writers filling in the gaps in the standard histories of the American experience. I learned my rebel attitude from punk, my joy from disco, my openness from singer-songwriters, my seriousness from soul. I went to thousands of shows. What I remember most from them is the physicality of it all, the heat of the Metallica mosh pit and the tenderness of tears shared at a Tori Amos sing-along. The way someone I'd never met before grabbed my hand while Kirk Franklin led his gospel choir toward an anointing. The growing literature of popular music scholarship and criticism helped me understand the lost histories and inner drives that lie behind these experiences. I came to understand that American popular music, our nation's first original art form, is made of our best impulses toward freedom, community, and self-realization, and our worst legacies of racial oppression and sexual hypocrisy. I decided I wanted to write a book about American music and American sex, one that would really be about American dreaming, violence, pleasure, hunger, lies, and love. This book is my offering, a collection of scenes from behind the veil of propriety about a subject we don't discuss openly anywhere near as much as we should. It's grounded in testimonies about the way music ripped down that veil, or made it into a costume its makers could drop to reveal themselves. This is not the standard history of guitar heroes and superstars, though some do appear here. It belongs equally to the dancers in the crowd, the groupies backstage, the couples huddled in the corner as a greasy band lays down the blues. My account doesn't contain everything I wish it could. Another volume would give Latin music much more of its due, and reach across the ocean to England more often, and go into inner space on the electronic waves of techno and rave. A whole volume could be written on the rap life of Nicki Minaj, someone who makes only a brief appearance here. That's one thing about popular music. Despite the canonizing efforts of certain
Sample complete. Ready to continue?